Hello, everyone, and welcome to Marie's Scrappy Creations, where we sew the scraps of your life into beautiful creations. Today is one of those special days where I invite someone into the sewing room, and I'm so happy to introduce you guys to Brandy. I've known her for, oh my land, I don't know, about 6 months now. Brandy has a quilting channel here on YouTube called 100 Proof Quilter, a little play on her name of Brandy, which I think is just adorable. And I'm going to turn it over to her and let her tell you whatever it is she'd like to tell you about her channel. And then we're going to chit chat, so you don't want to miss it.
Thank you for having me. I love being here. I love watching you. So yeah, it's, I guess it's been about 6 months. I mostly do lives. I used to do more tutorials, but my work schedule gets in the way, and I have tons planned. It's just getting them done. So sometimes that filming is really hard to do.
Yeah, lives are much easier on the workload.
Yeah, so I currently have a video up for my 500 subscribers right now, which I'll be drawing for tomorrow. So there will be a prize going out tomorrow. But yeah, mostly lives. I do mostly lives every Monday at 9 Central. Straight from work and onto YouTube I go every Monday.
So on those live Mondays, it's just something you're working on and you show people? Is it a tutorial or more of a show me? What is it that?
It's usually what I'm working on, but it's always something I'm working on that I haven't done before. Like recently we did curved piecing. I had never done curved piecing. So we did a drunkard's path thing. And so we cut out the drunkard's path pieces, and I showed how to do the curved piecing. So in a couple of weeks, we're going to do a lanyard type thing for, when you go to quilt shows and you always get a name tag and all that. It's a phone holder. I actually have it right here. We're gonna make this.
Very nice.
So it has a pocket for your phone, and then your ID goes here, and then there's a whole nother pocket here.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna make that. That should only take one live. It's actually a pretty easy project, but so I just try to do something different each time.
Sure. Okay, so today while we chat with Brandy and get to know her better, I am just simply working on some key fobs that I need to make. So cut out all my scrappy pieces of batting. We get those millions of pieces from all the projects. I don't have to Franken piece them anyway. So what are you working on today, Brandy?
So I'm working on some garden flags. I had actually started this on a live actually, and had sewn the two sides together and had to get the divorce lawyer out and fixing. So I
need to tell anyone who doesn't know what the divorce lawyer is.
So the divorce lawyer is my seam ripper, because I consider when I sew seams together, marrying them. So anytime I have to separate them, I call it the divorce lawyer. And then when I
think that is the wittiest thing ever.
The first time I said it, somebody thought I was talking about getting a real divorce. And so I had to explain, no, not a real divorce. That's what I call my seam ripper. I just wanted a different name besides Jack or Jill.
Yeah, a lot of people call it Jack the Ripper. Yeah. So I usually call it, can't find it, where to lay it down. No, I never can find half my stuff. But my friend in Australia, the first box she ever sent me after we met through my channel was this. And it has the seam ripper on one end and the stiletto on the other.
Oh, I love that.
Didn't I drop it? I love this thing. It's hefty enough that you don't, I just put lotion on so I can't, everything's slippery. I dropped it with the divorce lawyer end open, and it went down into my floor. It stuck. And when I picked it up, I must have picked it up at an angle and it snapped the end off. So I ordered a new one. You can order a new one for it, which I did, but it doesn't seem to be as good, sharp quality as the one that she had picked up. But I love this thing. So I do tend to keep it here. And yesterday my elastic fell off. I keep an elastic band so it doesn't roll off and break again.
Yeah, no, I love that. You have to get me one of those.
Yeah, I think you can find them on Etsy. I think I saw them, but
I'll call the other end the counselor.
they are very handy to have. And yeah, yeah. Because I had a million of those littler ones, or I tried all different brands and trying to think of the brand I bought that I thought, oh, this will be the one. You might have
Yeah,
it.
I call them different price lawyers. You know, you got the cheap lawyers, the mid-range lawyers, the high-end lawyers.
Well, of course, depends on where they went to law school, right?
Right, right. But I actually can't find my high-end lawyer, my wooden one that my friend made me. I don't know
Yeah.
where it is. It disappeared. I think I actually took it on a sewing retreat and I must have misplaced it there. It didn't come back with
Could
me.
have been, yeah.
Mm,
Well, I
really
bought this
sad.
clover one thinking with the brand that I would love it, and it was dull right out of the package, and I was very,
Mm.
and so many people say, oh, I love them. So it was just my luck. I'm sure that the majority of them are wonderful divorce lawyers, but it wasn't for me. And
Did
then
you contact them and let them know they might have replaced it? Oh, I
got
love
the
Tula
Tula
Pink
pink
stuff.
snips for my
I need to
birthday.
get some of those. Yeah. I have Tula Pink,
Yeah,
I have two of her rotary cutters. I have one in my travel kit and then this one. I like the weight. Weight is real important because I have peripheral neuropathy. And so my pressure changes because I can't tell what I'm pushing.
sure.
So it's nice and heavy enough that I don't have to push so hard.
Well,
My
I
favorite.
purchased 3 of those and I don't have one. They all went back because I ordered them through Amazon. And the first one I got, you know how they come in that little
Fill
metallic
box.
case with the little window in it? The window had a slit through it. And I'm like, I wanted to display it on my shelf. So I sent it back and I said, there's nothing wrong with the rotary cutter. But part of why I bought that was for the display box because it's gorgeous. She created that to look good. So they said, do you want your money back? Do you want another one? I said, well, I'd like another one, please. So I sent that back. They sent me another one. And that one, the window was all scratched up like a cat had clawed it. I sent it back and I told them that. Yeah, I guess it was only 2 that I got because I went to order the 3rd one and it wouldn't give me a delivery date. And then they called me. Now get that. They said, we're not going to let you complete that order, basically. And I'm like, why? Well, basically, I'm too picky.
I have to check, I have 2 boxes because I've ordered it twice. I have one for my travel bag and one for the other one. And I kept the boxes because it's Tula Pink, but I don't use them. Yeah. I just have them stored. And I believe both the front parts were fine. I'll have to check them. If they're good, I'll send them to you.
Oh, I would love to have one. Thank you, Brandy. But
Yeah,
I got thinking, I wonder if I should order it from Tula Pink's website and that be a difference from Amazon.
It probably would.
Although the price was a lot different too.
It was. It definitely was, but I would love to get all her hardware, but got to get it in piecemeal.
Do you have the bigger snips or just these ones like I have?
I don't have the Tula Pink. The rotary cutters are the only thing I have right now.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I thought you mentioned that.
I would love to get the snips and stuff, but like I said, I got to do it in piecemeal.
Sure. I mean, I would not go spend $24.95 for these, but my friend said, what do you want for your birthday? And she actually spends up to $50. That's what we spend on each other. And I said, I want the Tula Pink snips. So she said, snips are $30. And I said, it's Tula Pink. She goes, I don't need to know. I don't think I want to know. She goes, okay, if that's what you want.
Yep.
Yeah. It was funny. You were doing the live stream on the Drunkard's Path, and I didn't get there in time to share the story, but the first time I ever made a quilt, it was about 19, let me backtrack. The first time I made a an actual quilt that wasn't like one of those cheater panels that I made for the kids when they were babies and just put batting and backing on. I had gone to the library. This was well before the internet. I went to the library and I took out a book called Let's Make a Patchwork Quilt. And I decided to make a sampler, because why not just, you know, go full, dive in the deep end of the pool. Don't just put squares together. I'm going to make 12 separate blocks. I didn't own a sewing machine, but I love to hand sew, so I thought I can do this. What was one of the blocks that I chose to make on that, Brandy?
A drunkard.
Well, now it was not the prettiest thing in the world, I can guarantee you. My ex-mother-in-law, I gave her the quilt. She's passed away now, probably 8-9 years now. So I don't know where it ever ended up, but she gave it a good home and told me how beautiful it was. That was the most pathetic looking thing I've ever seen in my life. I'll tell you how much I didn't know about it is I sewed all the blocks together, and then I didn't understand how they got the sashing in there, and the book didn't tell me. So I just butted all the blocks together and sewed them, and then took strips of fabric and folded the edge under 1/4 inch and sewed it right, because I'm cutting off part of my block, covering it up with the sashing. And my ex-mother-in-law said, "Oh, what a great job, look it up," because she knew I hand sewed the whole thing.
Right. I love it.
Yes.
So my first quilt, I was watching Missouri Star and was like, I was looking over as a way to fix my mother-in-law's sewing machine that I was only going to use to like fix pants and stuff. I wasn't planning on becoming a quilter. I
Sure.
was stuck at home because I'd had to have a hysterectomy. Just asked my husband to go get it and bring it into the living room. It sits over here. It's always out of camera range, but it's an old Kenmore from 1969, 1970. It's a heavy thing. So I was just looking at YouTube to fix that, but during that, I found Missouri Star and the tutorials there and was like, I could do that. And I went to Walmart, got some fat quarters, and it ended up being a red, white, and blue and black quilt. And I ended up, because I didn't know anything about how to cut anything, I had ended up cutting pieces too small and ended up with this, what later turned out to be a piano keyboard border. But I didn't know what that was while I was making it. So as I'm making it, I get the quilt pretty much finished, but I have no corners. So like I have these borders, but no corners. So I've got this quilt laid out, and I'm like, well, how did I put this for? So I ended up doing Y seams, not knowing that that's what I was doing to get those corner pieces in. That quilt sits in my chair with me every night.
I just have to say, this is really fun, Brandy. Thank you so much for visiting me. I knew we would be chitting and chatting and all this. Yeah. I have so much to do, and I just went 2 weeks where I really didn't get anything done because all I'm going to say is life happened and I couldn't get into the sewing room. So now I'm trying to get back into the groove. I have some Tula pink scraps. One of my subscriber friends sent to me. She had some of them cut and, you know, pieced. I'm using them to make some key fobs because.
Is that the one that decided she didn't like the style?
Yeah, the color. She was very uncomfortable with the colors, which I was at first. I understand that.
I think I don't like all of her. I'm not drawn to all of her
same here
collections, but I gravitate towards a lot of her collections, but not all of them.
Yeah.
So I do have a lot of Tula pink. I do get them every time I get a chance, and I've got a little extra money. I'm like, oh, I'll grab a fat bundle of that. And, you know, so I have it here and there.
Well, this subscriber said to me, I don't want to use her name because I don't have her permission, but she said, I'm trying to think of how she worded it. I don't think it was the word busy. I'm going to put that in there. It's not that Tula Pink's fabric isn't beautiful. It's that it's too much all at once and I don't know how to match it to make it look good. And I totally understand that. I do. It's a lot.
Yeah, I was really excited about her neon collection, although I don't have any of that
I
yet.
don't either, yeah.
I think that'll look amazing on black if I ever get a hold of any of it, because I like black backgrounds. So I think that'll be amazing if I ever get some.
Look what I finished, I don't know, a couple weeks ago out of her new line.
Oh, I love it.
So I used everything from her line. The apothecary is in here, and I can't remember what the card slot fabric. But it's all all of this is from the same Tula pink line.
That is gorgeous. I have a pattern for a place for everything pattern by Annie.
I don't know that one, no. Well, I'm just getting into seeing her patterns. So.
It's a pretty intense pattern. I don't know why I picked that as my first one.
Well, you're brave, Brandy.
But another friend of mine is also getting ready to do it, and I've been slowly getting all the stuff for it because it requires vinyl and nylon and all kinds of stuff. And I've got the zippers by the yard and all that. And I'm looking for the perfect Tula pink coordinates to make that bag.
I understand that. Yeah, you probably know I live in northern Maine, and there are not a lot of stores here. Like, we do not have a Joann. The closest Joann fabric is close to 300 miles from me, so it's not like I could just skip down there. So anyway, we don't have Hobby Lobby, we don't have Michael's, we don't have any of that. We do have Martin's, which is a discount salvage store that has a wonderful fabric department, and I'm very thankful for the fabric department, but you never know what they're going to have and what they're not going to have. Like, if you went in specifically and said, well, I need a large purple flowery print, they might not even have purple. No, they usually have purple, but you can't guarantee that you're going to get exactly what you need. Well, I want some mesh fabric. I want to make some of those eco sponges. I can get everything. Well, maybe not the foam for the inside, but Hobby Lobby has it, and I can order it online, Brandy. The problem is I can't feel it. I can't tell what I'm buying, and you can go into the review area and people say, well, I use this for my sponges, and then another person, oh, that's got no grit, it's got nothing, I hated it. And who do you believe?
Yeah, that's really hard.
It is, yeah. A new company or person just bought the local mall, which has all of 5 or 6 stores in it, I think now, but there has been talk of possibly a Hobby Lobby going in there.
Well, that will be good.
Well, I think for our community it would work out well because we don't have anything like that, so they would have to make money, I would think.
Yeah. I actually, I live in the city. If you didn't know, I live in Oklahoma City. So we have the ginormous Hobby Lobby distribution center here.
Ooh.
And so we definitely have Hobby Lobby. Yeah. We have Hobby Lobby.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I really don't, because of my work hours, I really don't go to the store that often.
Oh, I'm sure that makes a big difference the hours you work, because it sounds like you work overnights or something. So
yeah, I do. I go in, I have to be at work at 10 and I leave anywhere between 6:30 and 8, and I have a morning telecom at 7:30, so every day. So yeah, so I don't do a lot of going to the store and go shopping, but we have all those things here. And occasionally I go, but then I spend way too much money.
I'm like, that's what I would worry about with an in-person store. Oh, and I meant to say, back on the flags you were showing us, that was glow-in-the-dark fabric, was it not?
It was.
You were moving that, and I could see it looked like a hologram. I'm so impressed. So where'd you get the fabric and the idea for this?
So I started making flags last year. And I actually made one for myself that had little boos on it. And actually, this little skeleton was in my mother-in-law's stuff, in her sewing stuff, when I emptied out her sewing table. And so I have some booze that were this color, and I try to reuse everything that she left in her sewing stuff.
Yeah, because it's got more heart in it, right?
Yeah, but I bought the fabric. I specifically bought the fabric, and I think I have some salvage here. I cannot remember right off the top of my head. I know that when we were live, somebody else asked me what it was, and we went over. Here it is. It's glow ghost, glow in the dark.
Glow Ghost, Glow in the Dark.
By Shelly. Oops, I'm missing the rest of that.
Well, if you write down that and you send that to me, Brandy, please and thank you. I'll Google it and put it in the description box. So if someone would like to try to find that.
Oh yeah, definitely. They're super cute. I mean, they're just so cute.
They are, they're adorable. Now, did you find the tutorial online or is that your own?
That's my own.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, I just Googled how to make garden flags, and then actually we were on the tutorial, and I was like, no, I just made these last year. How big did I make these? You know?
Right.
So yeah, no, sometimes I follow patterns and sometimes I don't, or
that's me too. It's I'm
I'll
no
get to a point
artist.
and I'll go,
I
I
have
don't
to
like
draw
the way that is, and I'll change it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Whatever we don't like, we make it our own. Make it our own.
And then right now I'm doing a fall one for her because I was behind on making her Halloween one, so she'll be able to hang it up for Halloween, but then it'll be time for fall, so I've got her some fall flowers to put up as soon as we're done.
I love autumn. You know, any other time of year, I'm not into orange or browns or whatever, but you get me near autumn and like that fabric you just showed, that's just gorgeous. I just love autumn and all the bright, crisp colors and love it all. Yeah, I had some these scrappy Tula pink key fobs made up last year. I made a bunch of them for the craft fair. Well, not just these, but other fabrics as well. And then two of my sisters visited, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, and I gave them each a key fob. And my older sister dropped by last week and said she had been at her sister-in-law's house and her sister-in-law saw her scrappy Tula pink key fob. She said, well, I had to give it to her because she just loved it. She said, so if you could make me another one, that would be great. And she said she's so impressed by those and she wants you to make her husband one with cars. Well, I didn't have any fabric with cars on it. So my sister went over to Martin's and this is all folded ironed. I'll try to open it. It's got like the front of muscle cars on it.
Oh, I like that.
It is, but the only bad thing is of course you have to fold it into the 1 inch. So I'm going to lose, but you can still see.
You can still see her. Yeah, definitely.
I made sure the rotary cutter was, or the cutting ruler, there we go, I know the word, was fashioned so that the 2nd and 3rd inch markings fell.
Yeah, there you go.
If that makes sense, fell on those areas.
That'll work.
So, yeah. And I also like making them because I get to use up a lot of my scraps of batting.
Yeah. I need to organize my scraps. You know, because I work the night shift, I don't change my schedule on my off days, and this is my off day. I found that it was too hard to readjust my schedule when I went back to work. So I don't change I do all my chores and all that at night, just like as if I had gone to work. And so today I was in here reorganizing this room has been a mess for a little bit.
Well, if when you get done, you have any extra energy, you just come here. I don't know which state you're in, but I'm betting you could get here.
I think we're just a tad bit away from each other. You know, I'm in Oklahoma.
We're just a little hop, skip, and a jump and a plane ride. Yeah.
Although I would love to come to Maine. You guys have all those lighthouses, and I love lighthouses.
Well, that's the other Maine. That's here in Maine. That's what we call the other Maine.
The
When you
other
first
Maine?
get into the state of Maine, that's where you're coastal. I'm way up north where there's moose and bear and fishing, and
Oh, hey.
there's no sign of the sea up here.
That's the other Maine. Well,
Uh,
I am landlocked, so
yeah. Well, we're up north by the Canadian border by New Brunswick. If you looked at a map, I'm in what's called Aroostook County. And if you just looked at a map of Maine and New Brunswick, you'd see Aroostook County is actually larger than a lot of states. And we're just a county that is sparsely populated. Basically, if you get really sick or you really want to shop, you've got to go about 270 miles south to Bangor.
goodness.
So, yeah, from here you take a country, well, not really a country road, but Route 1. It's potholes. It's just one lane each way, just a regular road. And you drive an hour. It's about 42 miles. It takes you an hour on those roads. And then you hit the I-95 and then you go south for over 2 hours to hit Bangor. So a lot of people up here, they'll say, well, I'm going to go do some Christmas shopping. I'm going to go down to Bangor for the weekend. Because really, that's all we have if you want to do in-person shopping. You have,
and you got to make a weekend of it because you're driving all that way anyways.
Exactly. You don't want to drive at night because of the moose. They'll come right out in the road, and they're not the brightest animal anyway. So, and they're big. They're more likely to be killed because they're just big. And when your car hits them, they're just, it's not big.
Yeah.
But you probably heard about the mass shooting we just had here.
I did. Yeah, I was at work and got a notification.
Yeah.
It's so sad. The violence
It really is.
people.
It truly is. All those people, it was just a regular day until it wasn't.
Yeah. It's, it's one of those things that, my husband and I were always taking little vacations and doing little things because you just never know.
You really don't.
You just never know, some of my coworkers are like, I don't know how you do it because I'll be at work and we'll have everything packed up and I will leave straight from work and get in the truck. My husband has pillows and everything and we have these weighted, I forget my words aren't working. The little sleeping things.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like an eye mask.
Yeah, it's an eye mask, but it's weighted so that it stays it keeps my eyelids closed and blocks out all the light. And then the truck seats lay all the way down and I sleep until we get to our destination. And then we make a weekend of it on our off days and do little mini trips because
that's awesome.
I don't want to wait until I retire to do those things because I have been there and seen. I mean, just last year I had an employee who clocked in and passed away.
Sure.
You just sometimes you don't make it to retirement. Mass shootings happen. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You might as well live your life now. So yeah.
I know someone who were in their 30s and they passed away. It was a we call it like a blocked artery or whatever, but they had a stroke that they did not recover from. And they had a weakened part of their blood vessel or whatever. So when that clot happened, the vessel couldn't hold it. It burst and that was it. I want to say they were 34 or 36. I don't remember now. It's been about 10 years. But yeah.
You never know. So gotta live life to the fullest now.
No, but you're right. You have to take advantage of things when you can do it. Yeah. And I suppose we probably ought to wrap it up because I don't know how long we've been doing this, but I figured 30 to 45 minutes and, because we could chit chat half the day, but
I'm sure we could.
I hope everyone has had a great time. And listen, as I said at the beginning, I'm going to put Brandy's link. Remember, Brandy and her channel is 100 Proof Quilter. She just reached 500 subscribers. And if you quilt and you think you would be interested in listening and watching what this lovely quilter is up to every week, you can head on over and subscribe, right? Doesn't cost anything to subscribe. You just click that button and you're good to go. And Brandy will send you notifications. Not personally, but she would if she could.
Good.
Brandy, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I really appreciate the time and you showing us what you're up to.
Thanks for having me. I enjoyed being here and chatting with you.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, everyone, until next time, remember, be kind out there. The world needs more of that. I'll see you next time. I know you're busy running over to her channel now. Take care, everyone.